Um, Today's talk is the paradox of power. Now, Deepak Chopra said that spirit's path to power involves surrender, humility, forgiveness, and acceptance. These are the real superpowers, not exactly the qualities we associate with powerful people. But power is so often defined by negative qualities, the power over people, the power over places and things. And that aggressive power is usually linked to possession of resources, and it's won by coercion. And even though this hard power is a direct and a time-effective method, it's an emotionally and spiritually costly practice. Hard power's accomplished goals are not long-lasting. Spiritual power is a soft power. It cannot be decreed by fiat. The soft powers are self-mastery and spiritual presence, faith, wisdom, enthusiasm, imagination, understanding, love, order, life, strength, release, will, and power. Now, paradoxes are ironies and incongruities that attempt to reconcile what seems like opposing ideas. And what this does is it allows us to consider and reconsider what's important in our lives' meanings. And once I've found the power hidden in belief incongruities, it's then mine to keep. It's long-lasting. The power of paradox holds that spiritual strength comes from an internal softness, not a show of hard will. And what leads to lasting, meaningful achievements is the paradox of internal softness. And that is one of powerful strength. And spiritual power is realized through the proper use of our will. It's an earned effort. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but power comes from my letting go, not my holding on. Now, I've heard it said, when you get to the end of your rope, let go. Let go and let God. And the ability to live one's purpose is through the use of one's strength of will, and that is a higher powered will. Now, let me be clear. It takes an act of will to let go of something, especially letting go of my own will's direction. I mean, I just don't throw my hands up in the air and say, well, God will do it for me, and do nothing. Actually, here is where directed, intentional use, wise use of power lies. The reliance on my higher powered determination is letting go. And here's the paradox biggie. Surrender brings empowerment. And this is the essence of the paradox of power. When I do the opposite of my natural, albeit regressive inclination, I'm using affirmative power. Doing the opposite of that inclination, or the George Costanza way, is the paradoxical power. Now, here are some examples of paradoxes. I know that I know nothing. And this is the paradox of wisdom learned. Wisdom empowers our soul's ability to handle life's challenges. Wisdom provides guidance, direction, discernment, flexibility, and contentment. Wisdom teaches us to work smarter, not harder. All valuable, powerful characteristics. Wisdom learned and earned belongs to me. Another, deep down, I'm really shallow. Paradoxically, the deeper I go, the more complex I am, yet the simpler, more streamlined my life becomes. Similarly, there is the learning paradox. The more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. Now, in my youth, what pervaded much of my behavior and my thought is called unconscious incompetence. I don't know what I don't know. Eventually, and certainly hopefully, I have progressed into conscious incompetence. I know what I don't know. This paradox keeps me in healthy curiosity and therefore more questions. And asking the right questions is much more powerful than having all the right answers, don't you think? Then there's the happiness paradox. The pursuit of happiness makes me unhappy. The key to finding happiness is to stop looking for it, right? Happiness comes from an appreciation for the present and gratitude for what I have. Mark Twain said about the fear paradox: do the thing you fear most, and the death of fear is certain. Now, why would I want to do the very thing I fear most? Because when I use my determination rather than abdication of something fearful, I overcome that thing and become free of the fear. Now, that's a profound practice. And about the death practice, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now and let that determine what you do and say and think. And there it is, the truthful paradox of how fleeting life can be, but it can also fuel how I act, speak, and my outlook on life today, now, this moment. I mean, after all, the goal of life is not just to feel better, it's rather to be better. Directing my energy can be very laborious, which brings us to the effort paradox. It takes a huge amount of, or as we say in Queens, a huge amount of effort to make something appear effortless. Take a ballet dancer, for example. Think about the many hours spent in repetitive rehearsal so that we can see a performance that looks effortless. All the best performers make something look effortless. Exertion is involved in writing and speaking with clarity, precision, and purpose. Take this talk, for example. I spent weeks writing a 15-minute talk. I just hope my delivery seems effortless. The point is, paradoxically, anything that seems effortless takes a lot of effort. That's why our practices are so important. Okay, you got the paradoxes, but how do I access my soft powers? Let me count 10 ways. We did some today, which is meditation. A seemingly elusive path helps us connect with the spiritual self. There are many ways we can do it. Meditation is a major link to the numinous, the divine, to being in the flow. Second way is feeling my feelings. Denial is a potent experience. It may feel powerful to ignore or run away from grief or sadness or even joy for some of us. The opposite is the power of feeling my feelings, just like it said in the first song we heard. Be present to my feelings, the reality of what is. This enables me to be there for others. And the power of spirituality is in my humanity. That means accessing all that makes me vulnerable and human, pain, disappointment, and yes, love. That is the power of acknowledging and feeling my feelings. This links us to Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. Ultimately, being at peace with the present moment is what it's all about. What use is it to be living in the past or in the future or focused on what we can't change? Be here now, Ram Dass's proclamation on how to live powerfully, is living in the immediacy of being alive. The fourth one is replenish with nature. That's my spiritual generator, my metaphysical battery, my power tool. A hike, a bike ride, a swim, observation of a blade of grass, a blossom, a bird, a breeze. They all give me pause to consider its life, its presence, how it came to be. And a step further, grounding. feeling my feet on the ground. I mean, really feeling my feet on the earth's force coming up into my legs and my body. This practice brings me into the present like nothing else. The next thing I need to connect is my soft power, which is gratitude. Grateful to be alive, to be who I am, to be where I am, to be with whom I am with, to be. I start my morning with a powerful gratitude practice while brushing my teeth, making coffee, taking a shower, putting on clean clothes. Some prefer to do a gratitude list at the day's end. It's also dynamic to find gratitude during the course of the day. And the seventh approach is service. Service makes a contribution to others. It potentiates my purpose. Being part of the higher good gives me a sense of agency, and it increases my self-esteem. Also, living graciously through goodwill, seeing good in others, appreciating them, and complimenting their qualities. Implement this practice, it's amazing. Focusing on appreciation makes me feel lighter and more optimistic. These are mighty outcomes. The ninth way is to become body aware. Cultivate listening to your body. Ask your body what it needs. Our bodies are incredible vessels. Honoring yours is one of the most spiritual acts you could do. Fuel it with healthy food, plenty of water, exercise, particularly stretching and balance. Take it from an old phys ed teacher. Give it rest and give it sleep. And 10, connect with your community, sharing with like-minded spiritual folks. Thank God you have the UU community. These are major ways of being present to ourselves, to being in our soft spiritual powers. So, in conclusion, let me mention the brevity paradox. Again, Mark Twain writes, "I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead." In seminary, I learned, blessed are the brief. Talk less, say more. We all know what it's like to hear someone drone on and say next to nothing, or say the same thing over and over. Getting to the point takes effort. And what's the point? Say what you mean and mean what you say. The paradox of power holds that spiritual strength comes from an internal softness that takes effort. Practice your practices. Put in the repetitions. Develop your soft powers of faith, wisdom, enthusiasm, imagination, understanding, love, order, life, strength, release, will, and power. Focus on the affirming power of spirit, energy, flow, and your union with it. Embrace that true human selfhood is divine. Divine thought is a force for good. Right thinking has a healing effect. And when our beliefs are infused with and in union with infinite intelligence, that is the totality of real power. Our power is co-creation. It contributes to outcomes. This is how and why we use the power of mind constructively. Power is in surrendering and aligning with the power of love, compassion, and peace in the here and the now. Seek spirit. Explore your spiritual core. Release any hindering excesses. Join your will with God's will. Co-create. Be the person you mean to be. Your spiritual endowment is empowerment. Find and explore the depth of your hidden paradox of power. And so it is.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.